And in an exclusive interview, Dr. Ben Carson tells One America News he is not ruling out the possibility of running for president in 2016. A hit with conservatives after taking President Obama to task over the Affordable Care Act, Carson emerged as a potential 2016 sleeper candidate with a growing super PAC standing behind him. One America's David Brody has more from Washington.
Well, here on Capitol Hill, there are a lot of folks thinking about running for president. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and maybe a few others. But there's one man, Dr. Ben Carson, who is actually being talked about for president. There's a national draft Ben Carson for President movement. It has raised millions of dollars, and it's going on about a year since this movement has been around. We spoke exclusively to Dr. Carson about this, and let's just call him reluctant, but not shutting the door. You mentioned petition signatures, and there's this national draft Ben Carson for president movement out there. What do you make of the movement, and how serious would you consider something like this for the presidency?
Well, you know, as I've said before, that it is not something that I desire to do. I would be a horrible politician because I don't believe in political correctness, and there's no way I'm getting in bed with a bunch of special interest groups. It's just not going to happen. So I don't know if that makes for a viable political candidate. But, you know, I will continue to monitor the situation and see what happens. If somebody comes along and they really get a lot of traction and everybody's gung-ho and they're saying the right things and they've got the right philosophy, I'll be right behind them with everybody else. And if that doesn't happen and the movement continues to grow, you know, I would be un-American not to pay attention to it.
Dr. Carson actually came in third during the Conservative Political Action Committee conference in Washington, D.C. Ted Cruz was second, Rand Paul first, but Dr. Carson, number 3. It'll be interesting to watch whether or not he actually gets involved. It's also interesting that part of this national draft Ben Carson for President movement is led by organizer John Philip Sousa IV. That's right, he is the great-grandson of the famous American composer. David Brody, One America News on Capitol Hill.